the amount of cash you need to set aside to fulfill this option trade is only Hi everyone, this is Pete here. So today I want to share with you an ETF that is actually better than the S&P 500 SPY that we all know. Now, Warren Buffett said that 99% of us should invest in SPY, a market index. So is there something actually better than this? One of the main complaints I heard about SPY is that, Pete, the SPY is more than $400 per share. If I'm just starting out, I can only buy a few shares. How does that even work? And indeed, if you are starting out, buying one SPY shares may occupy too much of your portfolio and it may not allow you to kind of dollar cost average into the market, which is actually one of the best ways to invest. So how do you invest in S&P 500 in this case? So over here, you can see we have actually another alternative. It is known as the SPLG. Now, look over here, SPLG, instead of $400 per share, it is only $50 per share. This is the cheaper SPY that you can look into. So let's look at what are the main differences between these two ETFs, between SPY and SPLG. Now, in terms of holdings, they are identical with 500 shares each. However, the difference is this. Firstly, the expense ratio for SPY is actually 0.09%, whereas SPLG are getting a much better deal at 0.03%. 3 times cheaper. Another thing to take note, of course, is the difference in share price. SPY $400 per share, SPLG $50 per share. Now, this may not have a big impact if you're just buying shares, but it does have a big difference if you're investing through options, which I will talk about it later. And last but not least is that, of course, while SPY has a higher expense ratio, higher dollar per share, it is actually way more liquid. The total asset is over 370 billion, whereas SPLG, while it's smaller, it is also no slack at 10 billion in terms of liquidity. So if you're an option seller, like what we learned here at OMI, you will know that we want to sell put as a promise to buy shares. Now over here, if I'm using SPY as an example, looking at the strike price of 428, if I were to sell a put, I'll be promising to buy 100 shares. So that will result in me having the need to have $42,800. Now that could be a huge amount for some of you who are just starting out, right? Whereas if you're using SPLG over here, you can see that SPLG right now is $50 per share. So if you sell one put, the amount of cash you need to set aside to fulfill this option trade is only $5,000, which is significantly cheaper. Now, in terms of performance, you can see over here is that SPY and SPLG over the long term is roughly the same. In fact, SPLG, I think due to the expense ratio being much cheaper, the 5-year performance is at 92%, whereas SPY is at 90.8%. So, who is more suitable for SPLG? I think this is good for those of you who want to buy in much smaller amounts and you really want something that is of lower fees. And of course, for people who are practicing selling options, you want to start with a smaller base, I think SPLG is one for you to consider. So, do you like the alternative that I've provided to SPY, which is SPLG, right? Would you start investing in it? And if you have any questions about this, put in the comments below. And if you like the content here, do press a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!